Well, all right, let's do this, everybody. Hey, everyone, Steve Salvia here, ready to rock and roll. Super excited about today's session. Can't wait to get into it with you today. Got a great session planned. But before we go too far, we're going to get straight into a quick tech check. So I just got quite a few callers, listeners on the line. So just love to know right up front if you can hear my voice, if you can see my screen, if all the technology is working, basically. I'd love you to do me a favour. Find the question box for me, and say good day, or a yep, or a, hey, I can see you, or just give me some sort of indication that you can see me and hear me a-okay. So I'd love you to do that for me right now. Find the question box, hit the raise your hand button, anything that's going to let me know that you're good to go. G'day, Steve. Hey, Steve. How you going, mate? Hopefully Craig's there with you as well, and anyone else from the team. Good to have you on board. Yeah, great. Everyone's there. Awesome work. Who else can see me, guys? Got quite a few on the call, but only one person said they can hear me. That means you must be able to hear me. Oh, yeah, Lee's there. G'day, mate. How you going? I know Owen's with us. Paul's there. G'day, Lee. Hey, mate. Thanks for that. Much appreciated. Lets me know that from my end, everything's ready to rock and roll, which is often an issue, as you well know. Cool. Okay, all right, heaps of people on the line, not too many commenting. So guys, if you can, just let me know, and let's rock and roll today. Hey guys, we're going to get straight into it today. Got lots and lots and lots to get through. So yeah, let's rock and roll. So it's really all about bringing your A game with you today. Got a great session planned. Make sure you've got plenty of paper and pens to write with. Make sure you're all hydrated. Hey, Paul, g'day, Paul. Thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. Thanks for letting me know you're there. Good to have you. Yeah, just make sure you lots to hydrate you, and yeah, we've got a lot to get through. So let's rock and roll with it. Oh, and guys, by the way, there's also a worksheet for today. You would have got it on the before reminder email, but if you haven't, I'm pretty sure that my webinar wingman JD has put that into the. I think it's in the chat box today. Let me just check that, make sure that you're sweet. Yes, there's a link in there, guys. So if you can just grab that for me, that would be really, really awesome. You're going to definitely need that today. Look, and the reality is, if you haven't got it, just grab plenty of paper, and you can just draw and write along with me as we go. All right. Okay. So, guys, I think we're just going to get straight into this today. So let's do this. Well, hey everyone, thanks for being part of our live coaching call today. Steve Salvia here at your service. Can't wait to smash this session out today with you guys. I've got I reckon just an hour and a half planned today, so I reckon if I do it right and get right into it, I think we should be a-okay on time. I'm hoping that's the case anyway. So guys, if you've just jumped on the call, and I see there's a few people who have jumped on the call, hey there, welcome. So glad you made it today. We're going to have a great time today. You're going to love this session. If you want to get unstuck when it comes to authority marketing, building credibility, sort of accelerating the pace at which you get yourself known in the marketplace that you want to dominate. That's really where we're going today. Super, super cool, and can't wait to share those awesome lessons with you. So, guys, just a couple of announcements just before we go too far. Been getting a few people on our focus sessions telling me, hey Steve, getting really, really excited at the start of the week, got lots and lots planned, got heaps that we're going to get done during the week, but then the week sort of starts out with full of energy and enthusiasm, everyone's pumped about the week ahead, and they've got a plan in their head, but obviously, and oftentimes it's nowhere else. So the plan's in their head, but nowhere else. And then what happens is that life gets in the way, doesn't it? Business gets in the way, excuses and stalls get in the way. So we start off the week, we go from having a full petrol tank on the Monday to, I reckon we've got somewhere near an empty petrol tank by about the Wednesday, all right? So anyone relate to that? Guys, I'm going to just clear the raise your hand. If you sort of relate to that, really fired up at the start of the week, but yeah, not really feeling it by the end of the week. So, guys, and the other thing that happens is a couple of people are saying, hey, I want a little bit more accountability as well. So, yeah, flat tap by the end of it, exactly right. So we lose that bit of momentum, that steam. We're busy, but oftentimes it's not quality, and Paul's saying the same thing as well, exactly right. So a little bit more accountability from the group, and also somewhere like a bit of a platform to celebrate our wins as well. I think it's one thing we just, we get lots done, but we don't seem to celebrate it enough as well. I think it's something we just don't do enough of. So from next Monday, I'm going to try and help with that, and I really, really want everyone to sort of get involved and help me with that. What I'm going to do from next Monday, I'm actually going to start I'm going to put a post on the Facebook group in the Posse page really early on Monday morning. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to call it Momentum Monday or Movement Monday. That's something to take us forward Monday. Okay, so what you'll see on Monday morning, fairly early in the piece, I'm going to have a post up there that says Movement Monday, and you'll see this image, the one that you see on the screen. And what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to ask you to do either. I just want you to take a little post-it note, just a small little post-it note, and I just want you to put the numbers 1, 2, and if you can 3. If you've got 3 things that you're going to get done over the course of the week, and I only want it on a post-it note, so it's small, not too big. I just want you to make 1 or 2 or 3 bullet points of what you're going to do. Take a photograph of that with your phone, and I want you to upload it into this post for me so we can get a bit of a list and sort of reward and recognise and celebrate people that are going to, and get people to actually put out there what they're going to do over the course of the week. So you sort of spread it out to the world, and I'll also be able to sort of help you along with that as well. So you can type it into the sort of comments box as well. That's fine. But I'd really love you to take a post-it note and write 3 points of what you're going to do on the Monday morning, and then we can sort of check in over the course of the week to see how you're getting on with those. And then at the end of the week, what I'm going to do is make a post on a Friday morning, and we're going to call that Finish It Friday. And we're going to be able to say, hey, this is what we said we were going to do over the course of the week. Guess what? Boom, we got it done. It was amazing. This is what happened. This is the outcome. And I'm just going to get you to make 2 or 3 bullet points again of what happened over the course of the week to say that you've done it, or you didn't quite get it, or you were stuck on something which we can pick up and run with and help with. And, just sort of anything you want to share over the course of the week. So, really short, sharp bullet points. That's all I'm after. That's why I'm talking about a post-it note, really quick, simple, doable, and it'll give us an opportunity to see our own progress and, and the progress of others in the group as well. That's really kind of a big part of this as well. It's not just what we're doing. I want everyone to share what each other are doing so that we can say, hey, that's a great idea, or hey, that person's doing it, I can do it too, or that's a really good thing that I didn't think of, maybe I can do that as well. And that's a big part of building the community that we're talking about. So, I'll also be able to keep a bit better finger on the pulse as well. What are you focused on? What's your current project that you're working on? You're going to write a blog? Are you going to do a Facebook ad? Are you going to do a LinkedIn Pulse article? You're going to have 3 reviews over the course of the week, meet an alliance partner, I don't know, launch a workshop or a seminar, anything that you have got planned in your over the course of your week. My plan is to have 2 fact find meetings and 2 plan presentations done, whatever it happens to be. I'm going to have a day off with my family. I'm going to take my wife for breakfast, whatever you want to do, anything like that. But just things that are going to, what are you going to do? I want you to basically to announce to the world, or our world anyway, what you're going to do over the course of the week on the Monday, and then we're going to check back in and say, what you actually got achieved on Friday, and do some virtual high fives and things like that as well. It could be also, I was able to get something off my for a long time. I've got a bottleneck that I need to fix, I need some help with, something that you're working on, anything like that. Okay, so that's really, really important. So, Move It Monday and Finish It Friday. Look out for those guys. Please play the game with me. I want to get involved, and I'll be able to help you on that Monday part. And if I've got a resource that I think might be valuable to you, well, I'll upload it for you there straight away as well. Okay. Other thing, from a housekeeping point of view, guys, I just want you to grab your diary right now. If you've got your computer in front of you, I want you to set aside a couple of dates. I've been spending a lot of time on the backstage part of our next Blackwing Summit that we're having in November. I don't know if you can tell what city, what beautiful, magnificent, wonderful-looking city that is behind the curtain there. But as you know, part of the deal of being in Blackwing is that we get together twice a year, live, together in a room as a group. We get together once in Sydney in March, and then again in Perth in November. Why Sydney and why Perth? Well, basically because, Sydney, because I go to Sydney 3 times a year. I spend 4 days with my coach 3 times a year over there, so I'm sort of in Sydney anyway, so it's good for me because I'm there, and also it's central for most people to get over there from the East Coast as well. And the other time in Perth, well, firstly because I live here, and it's also fair for the guys in Perth as well. So, you know, they make the effort to fly over to Sydney, which a couple of the guys did last time, which was fantastic, and yeah, so I think it's fair on them as well. So I've been thinking a lot about the dates, and I had a date set, and Craig Buntain picked up for me that the FPA conference was going to be in Perth in November this year as well, and we thought, and so thanks for that, Craig, really good pick. I had it picked a couple of weeks before, so yeah, so I thought, well, boom, why can't we kill two birds with one stone and tack the Blackwing Summit either before or after the FPA conference? So what I've decided to do is I'm going to run the Blackwing Summit here in Perth, WA, for a couple of days before the FPA conference. So what I want you to do right now, you're going to be a heap of details coming out. We've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Going to get some details very shortly. But I want you to block out the Sunday the 20th and Monday. Yeah, that's right. Sunday the 20th and Monday the 21st of November. Yes, Sunday and a Monday for you guys to come over. The conference starts on the Wednesday. Conference starts on the Wednesday over here in Perth. So we're going to do Sunday, Monday. You can have a bit of a break if you're going to the conference, or you can fly home if you want to do that. And then what we're going to do, for those of you who are in the boardroom group, those guys who are joining us in the boardroom, we're actually going to do the extra day on the Tuesday, the 22nd of November as well. So I've invited a small group of guys people have been asking me to join the boardroom group, so I've invited a few guys to that, so we'll do the extra day on the Tuesday the 22nd. Okay, so it's Sunday the 20th and Monday the 21st for the summit proper, and then boardroom group get together on the Tuesday the 22nd of November. So I want you to lock that into your diaries now. I don't want there to be any excuse to say, oh, you didn't give me any notice or didn't know what the dates were or anything like that. We've got sort of three months or more to have that, get that all locked in and loaded over here in Perth. I'm just negotiating with some hotels and accommodation places now, trying to tack that onto the FPA conference, so that's the way to go. So ideally, if you're flying in, try and get in there Saturday so you're fresh, ready to go for the Sunday morning. Content's hush-hush at the moment, but just let me tell you, it's going to work for you if you want to increase the impact that you'll have in your business and on your clients and on your wallet as well. That's all I'm going to say right now, okay? So working on some pretty cool stuff, and it's going to absolutely change the way you run your business. I'll give you all the details and the locations and everything's going to come out soon. Just working on the accommodation part, like I said a minute ago. And yeah, but for now, just save those dates. Again, I'll just quickly, Sunday the 20th, Monday the 21st of November for the summit, and then the boardroom session on Tuesday the 22nd. Okay, so really can't wait to spend a few days together with you guys. Absolutely smash it out. We've got something amazing planned. All right, let's do this. Let's get into it. All right, so as you know, guys, it's August. It's an attract month, and one of the big ways that sort of the biggest way that I know that to attract the right prospects to your business is to be seen by them as an authority. Okay, and a big part of all successful financial planning businesses is the ability to sort of get, to be able to attract the right people consistently toward your business. You'll notice it's a really it's a common trait of all the sort of top 5 or 10% of financial planning businesses. It's one of the most important cogs in the wheel, but it's also one of the hardest as well. It's one of the hardest parts to master. So, you hear me talking about authority marketing all the time, and it's one of the 3 big shifts that I made when I took in the financial planning business, when I took my income levels through the roof. My position in my market shifted dramatically the second I started doing this authority marketing piece, and it was the thing that really helped me reposition myself and get in front of the people that I wanted to be around and the people that I wanted to build my business on. Okay, and it doesn't matter what your ideal market is; it works for anyone. So what I want to what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to show you the five authority marketing hacks that you can use to make sure that you've got quality clients, client attraction, and content going out consistently, and make it easy for you to create stuff and really fast to create stuff as well. So I want you to ascend to the top of your prospect's mind, basically. That's what we're talking about here. So I call this session the Ascendancy Accelerator. Okay, how to build credibility fast, how to increase your authority, how to amplify your impact, and have you in a position in your marketplace where more people get to see your stuff and acknowledge your position as the go-to girl or the go-to guy in your marketplace. That's what we're talking about today. Okay. So the thing is, in the first 5 minutes or so, I'm going to talk to you. Yeah, a couple of things I'm going to do a little bit similar to what you heard in your onboarding sessions. You might have seen it before when you first started in Coaching Club. Some of you it's been a while. Some of you might be a little bit more recent, because the context is very similar. And then we're going to dive in deep, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this really, really well, get you unstuck and get you moving forward really, really fast. Okay. So I think there's some big problems that we all face on this, and you know, most of you on the call are probably going to be saying the same thing. Okay, so number one, here's the first problem. You're incredible at what you do, right? You know, you help so many people. You're all the knowledge and the skill in the world. You're really, really good. You're technically, you're as proficient as anyone in the game. Any of your colleagues, any of your competitors, you're just as good as them, if not better. But the problem is that you're one of the world's best kept secrets. You know, when you're with your clients, the work you do is amazing, but it's just not enough. You know, it's just not enough to get people to experience what you do. Not enough of them are seeing what you do and are getting that experience. You're a great secret in your marketplace, and the result of that is that your reach is too small. You know, you've got an incredibly powerful, you've got a really important message. Your knowledge, like I said, second to none. And you do an amazing job for the people that you do work with, but there's just not enough of the right people in your diary and in your office for you to do the work that you do. It's like sort of walking when you could drive, right? You know, you could, yeah, sure, yeah, or you could fly a plane. You know, you could, yeah, you'll get there eventually, but it's too slow. And our job's to sort of expand your reach significantly so that you get to touch more people and do an amazing job, the work that you're supposed to do with more people. Your reach is just too small. And the worry is right now is that you're actually invisible, or what that all means basically. You're invisible. You know, the people that know you love you. That's the issue. So the people that do know you, they think you're amazing, but you know, you're not there front of mind to that new group of people that you want to build your business around. The people who want you and the people who need you, to be honest. Okay, you know, does that make sense? And you know, so the reality is, guys, I'm just going to quickly bring my iPad up on the screen. I just want you to grab a worksheet or a piece of paper. And there's a couple of issues when we look at this. Come on. And just let me know, if you can just let me know in the raise your hand button if you can. Oh, I don't know why my little. I can't figure out why my little drawing pad won't come up, so please, there it is. So there's a couple of issues there when it comes to doing this. There we go, that's why. And you know, the first thing, there's sort of 3 stages around this that you need to think about. The first part is that, number one, you're actually, just in this first circle here, I'm going to say that you're, and you can draw this along, you're invisible. Right, you're invisible. You know, yeah, that's the first part. The second problem is that your prospects are skeptical. Right, so you're invisible. Your prospects are skeptical, and the third part is that the market is noisy. Yeah, true, isn't it? You know. You're invisible, the market's skeptical, and the market that you're in is absolutely noisy. So if that's the case, if you combine those things, invisibility, people are skeptical and it's noisy, what we need to do is we need to stand out somehow. We've got to figure out a way that we can get you to stand out. So it's not that we go from invisible to seen. That's not what we want. We really need to get you from invisible to authority in your world. That's really where we're going here. So the issue is, so that if you're invisible, we need to move you to a place where you're at least, and the word in here is known. Okay, so if you're invisible at the moment, we need you to get known. At the market level, we don't need to sort of wow them. That's not what we're about right now. We don't need to wow them at this point. All we need to do is, if people are skeptical, well, we actually just need to give people a little bit of hope. Okay, this is right up front. To get people to come towards you, we need to give some hope. And the thing we want to do, if the market is noisy, we don't need to shut. What we actually want to we want to whisper quietly. Whisper. Okay? We want the right message in the right tone, get the language spot on, because the thing is, the answer to competing with the noise isn't shout loud. It's the right message to the right person, really, really quietly, so really resonant. And then if you do, that's how you get where you go from unknown to, I might change that color, you go from unknown to authority. And that's what we're trying to achieve today. Okay, this is the Authority Accelerator. We go from unknown. So you're invisible, market skeptical, and your prospects are skeptical. The market's noisy. We need to get known, give them some hope, and whisper in their ear so that and that's how you'll basically build your authority in that area. Okay, does that make sense? So if you can do that, I'll just slide that away and get that back up. So if you can do that, the thing is, if you do it right, if you don't do this, because if you don't stand out, what will happen is that you still be a secret. Your reach is too small. You're invisible still. And what happens is there's actually a lid on the amount of impact you can have, on the amount of money that you can make, on the amount of meaning that you can have for you, for your clients, and for your community as well, your family or your staff and everything around that. It limits the effectiveness you've got. Your marketing's limited, your client attraction's limited, and it certainly limits the conversions that you're having as well. And that's why we need to change this. Okay, we need that. We need to be known, give them hope, and whisper quietly in their ear with the right messages. So what we're going to do today, our job today is basically, this is our mission at the end of the day. It's that's what we're going to try to do today. We're going to get you more leads. We want more engagement, and we want more sales. At the end of the day, that's where we're at. Leads. New people opting into your lead magnets, or downloading your guides, or your calculators, or anything that you've got in your that you've got to give them that positions you as an authority in your marketplace. Engagement. People responding and registering for your workshops or your seminars, or even just having strategy sessions, or making comments or liking or sharing your posts and things like that. So that's what we want from engagement. And obviously from there, it's sales and conversions. Okay. And so so the goal here, if we do this well, what happens is there's three things that basically happen for you. Number one is that you take an authority position. So you think about it, the Olympics are on right now, and Usain hasn't bowled, but I reckon he's going to be up there pretty close with the winners. And the thing is, we remember people who win the gold medal, don't we? That's really, to be honest, that's who we remember. Maybe we'll remember who came second, but look, if you look on the screen there, I totally remember Bolt, but I don't really remember Young. I'm not sure who Akwu is. I just can't remember those people, but I definitely remember Usain Bolt. So nobody remembers who came third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. Like there's the winner, there's maybe the runner-up, and really, there's the bronze, but no one really remembers the bronze. It's either number one or number two, and that's where we need you to be. We need you to be the authority in your marketplace, whatever that marketplace is. Okay. And that's what I want for you. And you're probably saying to yourself, well, holy crap, I can't be number one in the world. I'm not number one in the world. And the reality is you don't have to be number one in the world. You've just got to be number one in their world. And that's all we need from this. We've just got to be number one in their world. So we've got to figure out who they are so that we can position ourselves as number one in their space. Okay. You need to have a specialty market, and we need to find out what that is and just be number one in that market. Number two. The thing here is also just look, when it comes to authority marketing, there's another enemy that comes here. It revolves around creating valuable and useful information and putting it out where the prospects can grab it and do it regularly. That's what we need. We need prospects to reach out and grab your stuff. It's got to be out there on a regular basis. So that's a really important part of this as well. Second part is, you just won't be the authority. You'll have an audience. You won't be the audience. You'll have an audience. Again, there's no good being the best at something if you've got no one to share it with. So you can be the best, but if you've got no one to share it with, or you've got all this knowledge and you've got no one to educate, or you've got all this amazing financial advice that you can give, but you've got no one to transform, well then you're wasting your time. And the third part of this, you'll be able to do what you do best. That's the third thing we want. You'll be able to do what you do best, and you'll have, and you'll be the one in your marketplace that does it the best, and you'll have people queuing up to work with you. So you'll be the authority, you'll have an audience, and you'll have excellence, and that's what we're after. Okay. But if you look at what you're doing now and you think about authority marketing, just in general, if you think about what you're doing in your business from an authority marketing point of view, okay, I think there's a few common enemies that we all face. They're really, really, really hard, okay, and we've got to focus on those and change them around. That's why we're here today. And I reckon the first thing is that there's probably no flow. And that's a big part about what we're going to do today. There's no flow. So the number one enemy when it comes to authority marketing and education-based marketing is that it sort of revolves. We've got to, like I said, we've got to create that really valuable and useful information. We've got to put it out there where people can get hold of it, grab it, and say, hey, that was really, really good. I can't wait for the next installment. I want some more. I learned a lot. That was really valuable. That helped me a lot. But I need to know more, and that's what we want. So number one, the biggest enemy is doing it regularly and making it flow. Okay. So if you think about, you might have heard me talk about what I call the 4 commitments. I'm not sure if you've ever heard me talk about the 4 commitments. Just raise your hand. I'm going to clear the raise your hand. You've ever heard me talking about the four commitments, the 4 communication commitments. Have you ever heard that before? Just raise your hand if you had. If you've come to a session before, a summit session, you probably would have heard that. So I'm just going to grab the iPad again. So guys, what I want you to do, and again in your workbooks in there, you'll see the Ascendancy Accelerator. There's 4 commitments, 4 things that I want you to commit to when it comes to authority marketing, and they're really, really, really important and critical for you. So I'll just go back to black. The first thing is that I need you to commit to frequency. So I'll get you to write this down. Frequency. Okay, so it's and that's basically your rhythm. Okay, you've got to have a rhythm. You've got to do authority marketing with a frequency. Whether it's daily on Twitter or Facebook, whether it's weekly on LinkedIn, whether it's fortnightly or monthly on email, whether you do a monthly blog, whether you have 4 times a year you have a workshop or a seminar or something like that. So we need to commit to frequency. The second commitment you need to make, and I'm just going to write it here, you can hopefully write it in yours, you need to commit to value. Okay? And, the stuff has got to be useful. That's why the lead magnets are working so well, because it's actually got useful information in there. It's got to be helpful, not just spammy sales messages or dorky comments on someone's posts or things like that. They've got to, what I want you to write down here in there, I want you to solve real problems for real people. So the way to make your authority marketing valuable is to solve real problems for real people. So the way to do that is to figure out and find out and have a place to capture what people's real problems are, and then have a solution for those problems. And that's how you're going to become valuable. So these are commitments, okay? We need to commit to frequency. We need to commit to value. The third thing we need to commit to is what I call invitation. Okay, and that's the offer or the next steps. So every time you do some authority marketing, you need to commit to some next steps. All right, so that's critical. Every single time you do something, you've got to have a next step. Where to from here? If you'd like to know more, if you want to download, if you'd like to check out, if you'd like to talk, if you want to, whatever it happens to be, but you've always got to have an invitation or next steps in your authority marketing. And the fourth thing, and this is probably the most important, I reckon, is that you need to commit to what I call personality. So build a persona. If it's got to be you, I reckon it should be a little bit fun, because most financial planners aren't, and it's got to be authentic. Okay, so I want you to commit to being you. It's just, I want you to put some of you into your marketing. So it's not just boring old financial stuff and data and all the guff that the fund managers and the super funds and the dealer groups provide for you. No, we don't want that. We want you. What are you passionate about? How can you inject your personality into it? What stories can you tell? What quotes can you make? What are some things that you say regularly to your clients in a client meeting that resonate over and over again, that you say consistently, well, you can start doing those and using those as quotes, things like that. Testimonial stories, ideas, what principles do you believe in? That sort of thing. That's how you inject some personality into your marketing. So again, the 4 things I want you to commit to are those. I want you to commit to frequency. Have a rhythm, have a marketing rhythm, so there's stuff going out on a regular basis. I'm going to show you a bit more about that in a minute. Number 2, I want you to commit to values. So give them stuff that's useful. Not a stock market report or a bond market report or a fixed interest returns or something like that. I don't believe that's overly useful for too many people. I don't believe that people wake up saying, hey, can't wait to receive my bond market report this morning. I'm sure that's not what people think about. So we want it to be useful for them. Third thing I want you to commit to is invitation. Make an offer. Make sure there's always the next step. And lastly, and most importantly, I want you to commit to personality. Make it you, make it authentic, and and I think you'll get a lot better traction when you do that. Okay, so that's what I mean by making that commitment. That's the 4 commitments. So just slide that across again. All right, so there's no flow, number 1. So we need that's what we want. We want those 4 commitments, the communication commitments. That's what we call those. Number 1. Number 2, the other thing, so if you think about that, if you think about no flow and that communication rhythm that I just talked about, there's some friction points, right? Okay, there's some friction points. So it's not as easy or it's not as smooth as you'd like it to be. You want to do marketing, but there's friction points. There's things that are making it stuck or hard or, things that are difficult, okay? It's not easy to commit to frequency, is it? Let's be honest. Find the stuff that's valuable. It's, and it's got a really good message. That's really hard as well. Working out the best way to have an offer or what the next step should be. It's not what it's all cracked up to be, is it? It's harder than what you think. And it's hard to put your personality into your marketing because, especially when you're only just learning about it as well, you haven't got it 100% handled or in control. It's really hard to put your personality into it because you're still sort of, it's like a learner driver who's staring at the wheel and the steering wheel and the gears and looking down at their feet to make sure they've got their feet on the right thing. So when you're first learning this stuff, it's not really easy, is it? Okay. I reckon it's for most people on the call right now. So, today for me, I'm going to show you some things today. I'm going to give you a bit of a checklist to make these things easier for you. I'm going to walk you through where I used to get stuck when I first started doing this authority marketing thing. I'm going to go back in time and say, hey, this is what I used to do, and this is what I did to fix it. I'm going to show you what I did to fix it. I'm going to show you that. I'm also going to show you. There's actually a couple of things that I'm still getting stuck on. It's annoying the hell out of me, and we're just working on some fixes for that as well. So I'm just going to show you what we've done just recently between myself and EE and JD, what we've done to get that sorted. And so I want you to learn from my mistakes, and I want you to accelerate this by learning what Steve used to do, how he's doing it now, and how it's working much easier. It's freeing up my time, my space, my energy, and I'm going to share that with you today. I'm going to give you some templates around that. And I also, what we're going to do is I'm going to help you with what I reckon are the 5 main friction points today. I've worked out what I think are the 5 core friction areas, and I'm going to show you what I've done to work those out and get those fixed for you. And I'm going to show you guys, I've been actually talking to a few guys on their Focus 20 calls as well about this individually, so I'm going to share those findings with you guys today. So that's where we're sort of heading today. Guys, is that cool? Just guys, give me a raise your hand if you're okay if I share those things with you today. Make authority marketing easier, make there be a flow, give you some tools and templates to make it more simple, show you what I've done in the past that didn't work and actually show you how I fixed those. Would that be helpful? Yes, yes. Heaps of hands going up. Great. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, got a question for you. And here's the question. So this is what I've got for you. So if the name of the game is authority marketing and we're sort of building your position in your marketing place and we want to do it fast, we want to do it easy, we want to set it up so it's repeatable, so it's scalable, so you can be more prolific in other words. Again, we don't want perfection in this, we want prolific, okay? Because, we need to get you known, we need to get you noticed, we need to get your business out there so people know what it is. So I want to know from you, here's the question, okay? I want to know, what do you want to get good at authority marketing and publishing stuff and getting stuff out to the market? What do you want to make it easy for you? So tell me in the question box, do me a favour, I want you to type in for me your thoughts about why you want to accelerate your authority positioning in your marketplace. Just do me a favour, go ahead and type that in for me Now, I'd love to know your thoughts. I've told you why I think it's important. I'd love to know from you. So why do you want to get ahead? Why do you want to improve your authority marketing? Tell me that now. I'll give you 10, 15 seconds. Business comes to me so I don't have to chase. Exactly right, yes. It would be liberating for people to actually come to me. Totally would, yeah. How good is it? When people respond to your stuff, it feels really good. That's exactly why. When someone shares your post, it's refreshing. You know that you're not wasting time. You know that it's valuable. Could concentrate on more on delivering advice rather than finding new clients. Exactly, we are caught on that. That's why we want to make it easier and make it flow. Okay, so really cool. What else we've got there? So we've got establishes credibility so business is easier and more opportunities arise. Exactly. Promote expertise, not push. Yes, they are advocates before they come in. Don't need to sell them as hard. No way. That's exactly right. Perfect. Yes, get some positive feedback and new business. So let's kill two birds with one stone. Remove stress from my mind. Totally. Overcome skeptical prospects. Yeah. So if you've warmed a prospect up over time, they say a lot of people used to come in to me and say, Steve, I've been watching you. I've been watching you for a while. I've been reading your stuff for a while. I just got an email from, even just yesterday, but this is even in the financial planning business, but just yesterday I got an email from a person I've never known. I knew there was a connection on my LinkedIn. They said, hey Steve, I've been watching your posts and I want to know a bit more about Blackwing. That's cool. So it might have taken 12 months, 18 months for this person, but eventually he's come to me and he's asked me now about, he just wants to know more. Exactly right. So that's cool. Great. A couple more there, but I'm going to, because we've got heaps to get through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you right now, what I'm going to show you is, I reckon, five keys. The 5 keys to accelerate your authority. I'm not going to talk about what authority marketing is today. That's not what we're about. I'm talking about making it, getting it out there, being prolific with it, making it easier, making it flow. Okay, so we're not actually talking about authority marketing as such today. If you want to go deeper on that, guys, just go to the member site, and I reckon watch the email masterclass. I reckon that's probably the best one if you want to know what actual authority marketing is. We went a lot deeper in that there. So there's heaps of examples and templates in there. Okay. Well, you can actually go back to the onboarding videos and watch the secret psychology video as well. That's up there in the member site as well, because that talks about what authority marketing is and it helps you get your head around the what part of this. Okay. So I'm going to focus mostly on how to remove the bottlenecks and make it easier, make things flow much better around authority marketing, how you can get it done much quicker, way easier, and with less work. That's the important bit as well, okay? That's what we're going to go. So if you're right to go, if you're happy with that and you want to learn more about that, I'd love you to type me a good to go in the question box, guys. Just type me a G to G, good to go, and let me know that you're on board and you'd love to know how to get marketing done quicker, easier, better for you. So do me a favour, type me a good to go, and we're good. Good to go, yo, yeah, good to go, G to G, yeah, love that. Love the variations on the G to G. That's fantastic. All right, 5 big principles. Okay, guys, let's get into this. Accelerating your authority, in your positioning in your marketplace, and making it really, really streamlined for you. And I reckon here's the first one. Here's the first step. Okay, this is what I believe is the first step. I think the first step, number one is this is sort of the big kahuna, I reckon, too. And when it comes to your authority marketing and getting your message out to market, the problem is, for everything you do, there just seems to be too much friction, like I said before. And the best way that I know of to remove friction is to add some lubricant. Yeah, that's right. I want you to add some lubricant. Okay? And here's what I mean. What I mean specifically is I want you to identify where the main friction points are. And I want to, and the reality is, guys, that's the hard part. Actually figuring out what is holding you back. The bits that are holding you back from sending out your regular authority marketing, getting your stuff out to the world consistently on a regular basis. The places that it doesn't flow, where your marketing gets stuck, where are the bottlenecks, why isn't it consistent? The reasons you start to market something and then it all stops or at least gets jammed up. And that's what happens. You start something, you get going on it, and then all of a sudden life gets in the way and you just don't do it anymore. Okay, what we're going to do, so we're going to find out where those places are, and we're going to add some lubricant, and we're going to make it flow just the way it should. Okay, this whole session today is about removing friction, lubricating the track so that you can create and share your authority marketing consistently to position yourself in the world that you want to position yourself in as an authority in that space. Okay, so we need to make sure there's enough lube. Right, that's what we need regularly, on a regular basis. Or, we even maybe we even need to remove some of the parts of the process that you're doing, and that might even be you. You might be the part that we need to free up this flow. Okay, sometimes we need to get you out of the process so things run smoother. All right, let's be honest here. You can you can have the brains and the knowledge and let someone else take care of the other stuff to make it happen. Make it their job, not yours, so you can focus on income production stuff. Okay, we need to find the friction points and come up with a way to really quickly fix this and make the process smooth. Now, I'm really, really conscious, guys. I'm lucky enough. I've got people around me to do this. There's some of the people on the call that have got a team. There's a couple of people on the call that don't have a team right now. So for me, my way of adding the lube was I come up with the content, I make it, and I come up with the content and they make it appear. If you're doing this yourself, then I'm going to give you some lube today to make it easier for you. So right now, you're the lube. Okay, so we've got to make sure that you are as free-flowing as you possibly can. Okay, so if you're doing it yourself, that's what it is. But I just want you to, all I want you to get right now is that all I want you to know right now is that you need to remove friction and you need to add some lube. If friction and stuck are the enemy, then we need to create that lube to make it flow. It's as simple as that. You following this? This makes sense? So the first point I want you to get, and I want you to be really, really clear and aware of, is we need to add lubricant. Number one. Number two, I want you to be the talent. I want you just simply to be the talent. And what that means is this. If you think about, I'll use the analogy. So if you think about the theatre, you think about the theatre, right? I've got a guitar there, which is probably the wrong image, but you'll get the point. So you think about the theatre. The actor in the theatre, the actor acts. That's what the actor does. That's all the actor does. They learn their lines and they act. Nothing else. Every other job in a theatre production is left to someone else who's talented in that area, so that they're they're the expert in that field. Like when the talent arrives, you think about it. The talent that arrives, the limo pulls up out the front, or maybe even a side entrance because they don't even talk to the plebs out the front, do they? So the limo pulls up. They're met by someone at the car. If it's raining, someone puts his coat over his shoulders and holds the umbrella over him so he can walk from the limo to the door without getting wet, right? This is you think about the talent. He's escorted through, and he's got his own dressing room to wait in, and they've made food for him or her. I'm just going to say him, but him or her, right? He's got a fridge with all his favourite drinks in there. There's usually some drinks made for him as well. His costume's all laid out, all his scripts are there, everything's ready to go. He's had nothing to do with the sound or the lighting or the props or the selling tickets or anything like that. It's all just been done for him. He just comes in, reads his lines, gets applause, they throw flowers on the stage, they put money in his bank account, and then he just turns around, gets back in the limo and goes home. That's it. That's what the talent does. Okay? Now, could the talent have helped out with other things? Well, yeah, he probably could. But they don't. The reality is they don't. The talent knows about staging. The talent knows about lighting. The talent probably knows a little bit about promotion and things like that. But do they do all those things? No, they don't. They just do the high-end stuff, the money stuff, the stuff that makes him a celebrity, that authority piece like we were talking about. And other people do the rest. And that's what I want you to do. You're not there to prepare food or hold the umbrella or, do the lighting boom. No, you're not. Your job's to be the talent. Okay? The person who delivers the content, because that's really where the value's at it. That's what we're talking about here. So what I'm going to talk to you about in a minute is what I call the 80-20 rule. Okay, it's about doing 20% of the work that gives your audience 80% of the value. Can you write that down, guys? 20% of the work will give you 80% of your audience 80% of the value, and it'll also give you 80% of your authority positioning. Okay. You hear me talk about it all the time. I want you to be operating in this scenario. I want you to be operating from your place of genius. We've talked about it before, incompetent, competent, excellence, and genius. And this is really no different to that. So what we're doing, we're going to break that genius exercise down and just put it into one thing. And you can do this across the board, actually. But that's what we're going to do. That's why the genius circle. If you think about the genius exercise, that's why the genius exercise is the smallest circle. It's a smaller circle, but it's where the biggest impact comes from. Okay, it's where the biggest impact comes. And so that's why you should be doing a genius exercise on this authority marketing piece. What are the parts of the marketing that you're stuck on? Well, that's probably the technology, and you're probably not that good at the technology side of things. You know, what parts are you pretty awesome at, but what could someone else still be doing better than me? And then all you get left, so you get rid of all that other stuff, and all you get left is the authority marketing. It's the genius bit. You know, you'll find out that they sort of everything that around that, it revolves around coming up with content and knowledge, right? So that's in this authority marketing. It's content and knowledge. That's the genius. So that's really the only part that you should be involved in. Okay, we're going to have someone else or something else, which I'll talk to you about in a minute, to help you with that. And then someone else loads it up, they install it, and they get it out and market it for you. Just want to quickly check in, guys. I just want to know, just thinking about authority, or just your marketing in general, and I want you to think about, guys, what's one task from a marketing point of view that you could fit into that genius circle? When you know the genius exercise, the 4 circles, and the smallest one's the genius. What's one thing that you could think about from a marketing point of view that would fit into that marketplace? Got your comment, Lee. Yes, your mind went wandering, Lee. Love that. I love that my analogy is working for some people. That's great. Guys, so I want to know from you. Type it in for me. 20 seconds, 10 seconds. What's one thing that would fit into genius from a marketing point of view? Okay. So it could be creating a blog. It could be the teaching part. It could be taking something technical and turning it into a little email for your clients, or a blog piece, or a LinkedIn post, or a Facebook post, that sort of thing. It could be taking strategies that you've got, the technical stuff, and turning it into something that's English so that people understand it. That's what I'm talking about. So think about it from your end. Getting seminar content, right, exactly, Paul. Lead magnet info, yes, Lee, exactly right, you got it. Steve, responding to technical queries, Steve, yes. And then what I'd say is, I would take that technical query from a client and I'd say, I'd make a blog post about that. And it'd go something, so really good, Steve. So Steve said, responding to technical inquiries. Yes, we respond to technical inquiries, but then we could say, hey guys, just wanted to make a quick post today about a question I just received from a client by the name of, let's call him Bob. And the question was, blah, 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 blah. It's a really great question, and one that comes up often. So what I'm going to do for you right now, I'm going to show you 3 things that you can do to minimise your tax and get more money into your super fund. The first thing, number 1. First thing, number 2. Do you get that, Steve? So does that make sense in that context there? Yes, so that's really important. We respond to technical inquiries from our clients, but what we want to do, we want to capture those things, and then we want to use that as an authority marketing piece. And we can get that out to the world. So instead of helping one person, we've helped our entire prospect base by sharing that knowledge and expertise with them. Does that make sense? So just give me a thumbs up or a yes or something like that if you get what I mean there. That's a really good one. Building a bank of testimonials, totally, exactly right. And then we share the testimonials. Thanks, Alan. Finding content and communicating. Perfect, Paul. Having a place to capture all of that. Yeah, Terry, that's good, mate. Thank you for that. Terry likes that. I'm not on the same page. Steve, Susan, can you help me understand? Okay, so Susan, yes, exactly right. So think about, so what I want you to think about, the way I want you to think about this is, think about the, this is for everyone, guys, but think about the authority marketing piece if it was your body, right? If it was your body, these things would mainly be from your brain and from your mouth, okay? So we're good at the brain and we're good at the mouth part. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree with that? We're good at we're really smart and we're really good at articulating how smart, our knowledge and our expertise and all that sort of thing. So really, that's all we should be doing right now. The rest of it, getting it out on your website, posting it, doing a video if you're doing it, all the editing and all those things, they should be done by someone else or something else. That's what I'm getting at here. We've got other people that are good at that, or other things that are good at that, actually better than us at that stuff. Okay, so that's what we want. That's what we want to do. So we've got to think about what are the important parts of marketing and just do the genius parts, and then someone else can get the stuff out there. Now, again, I know, Susan, that you're a one-man operator, so at the moment that's going to be you, and just shortly I'm going to show you how we can speed that up and lubricate that for you so we can get that stuff out. But at the moment it's you. But eventually you're not going to be a one-man band. Someone else is going to be an expert at that stuff. Dave says, my special skill is being able to leap tall buildings with a single bound. Well, Dave, dude, you have got superpower. I know you have. I've always known that about you, mate. But yeah, the message is really, really clear. Okay, hopefully that helps you, Susan. So I just want you to be thinking about this is the important part of this marketing piece, and have someone else to do the rest of it for you. I want you to be the talent. Janine says, I'm not in a position where I can hire someone else. That's exactly right, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. So you're, yeah, that's exactly what I just spoke to Susan about as well. Okay, so that's really important. That's good, guys. These are really, really good. Thanks for sharing those. So that's point number two. Point number two was I want you to be the talent. Number three, sorry guys. Number three, the third thing I want you to do, anytime you're going to do anything from an authority marketing or creating content or writing blogs or doing an email to your client base or anything like that, what I want you to do is I want you to do it with a framework. Okay? I want you to have a framework first. That way you'll be able to deliver high value, high quality content, fast, consistent, and with a flow. So it sounds like you. So you actually build a voice. So it sounds and looks like you over and over. The more people see it, the more people hear it, they're going to know it's from you, and they're going to be waiting for the next installment. So look, yeah, let me give you an example. Let me show you how I do this. So just as far as frameworks go, what can I draw there? I'm just going to draw, just going to grab a clean piece of real estate here. So guys, just grab a, you know, you can draw along with me, but really I'm just going to show you how I do my, so, you know, the reality is, if I've got to do these coaching club workshops on a regular basis over the course of the year. So in fact, I've got to do one of these every fortnight on a Friday morning, every second Friday. You know, we do about 10 months worth over the course of the year. So, and I was having to come up with and just roughly write out on a piece of paper what I was going to do and just put some bullet points down and that sort of thing. And it was actually getting quite hard and a little bit confusing for me as well. But I knew I had to consistently provide this stuff on a regular basis for you guys. So I had to build myself a framework. Oops. So and basically, so what I did, I did exactly that. Coming up. There you go. Yeah, so what I said to myself, right, I've got to find a way to make this easier for myself. So all I did, I just built myself, strangely enough, a 9-box framework. So how can I create a coaching club session like this on a regular basis, consistently and with a framework? So I just built myself a framework. So what do I do? The first thing I have to do, well, I have to pick a topic. And I'll pick a topic, and I'll show you a little bit more about that later. Then the next thing I do, I've got a framework where I come up with 3 frustrations and a fear, and I come up with 3 wants and an aspiration. So you hear me talk about the problem and the promise at the start of every session. Then normally what I do, I ask a question or I do some proof. Proof or a case study or why this works, case study, or I ask a Q. Question. Sometimes, normally it's a strategic question. And then what do? I normally do 3 to 5 teachers. So I teach the hot principles. Teach 1, teach 2, and teach 3. Okay, and then the next part, and then normally I'll tell a little story again. So probably more so question over here, the strategic question. Then I normally tell a story or a case study or why this works. And then I do what I call a hero story. So a hero story normally is, I used to suck at this, but this is what I learned, and then I added the special sauce, and that's normally the little thing that I teach you guys. And now it's working really, really well for me. And then at the end of it, I normally have what I call the prescriptions. Okay, and that's really the 1, 2, 3. Action steps that I show you at the end that I'll get you to work through. So what are the prescriptions? What are you going to do to make this work in your business? So all I'm trying to say is that I was doing it roughly, bullet points on a big bit of paper. It was getting a little bit difficult for me, so all I did, I built a framework. Now I can do these these could flow out of me. That I figure out on a Monday that I've got to do this session on a Friday, and by the time Friday comes, it's already done. Everything, the worksheet's done, everything like that, because they're really, really easy for me to do. And now what I actually did, just quickly, just let me find this. Got that open. Then what I did, I actually took that, and I've now turned it into, just so you can see this, I've now turned it into this template. Right, so I just want to show you the main one there. But that's what I just showed you there. So sometimes I'll do seminar name, what date I'm going to do it. So sometimes I'll do problem, promise, proof, or normally what I do is 3 frustrations and a fear, 3 wants and an aspiration, stories, case study, proof. I do my 1 bullet point, 2 bullet point, 3 bullet point, and then I just write in a little thing of the image or the analogy that I'm going to use, so I can figure out how to quickly get the images that I use. Because everyone says to me, Steve, wow, your images are great, they're fantastic. How do you come up with them? Well, really, most of the images are just simply about the analogy that I normally talk about. Okay, and then if I'm going to do a worksheet with you guys, I'll just quickly rough out the worksheet just with a pencil or a text or whatever it happens to be, a Sharpie marker usually. If I've got an example that I want to show or something that I want to show, like I'm doing now, like I'm showing you this example right now, I would write down what I want to show you guys, and then if I've got a specific bit of homework that I want you to do, well, hey, I just write that down, and that's my basis for doing my sessions today. So do you get what I mean by framework, guys? Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. I hope that's helping. So all I did, but I started with simply this diagram. I did this diagram, really just roughed out roughly what I wanted to do, and then I just turned it into a framework, so now I don't have to think very hard at all. Okay. So guys, just let me know. I'm just going to clear the raise your hand button. So I just want you to get what I mean by when I say there framework first. Can you just raise your hand and let me know if you get or understand what I mean by framework first? And I'm going to show you. I'm going to teach you a little bit more about frameworks in just a second. Okay, so just raise your hand and let me know if that makes sense. It's great, awesome. Okay, so before I create anything, any marketing, anything I do, a blog, a video, anything I do, I create a framework for it first. And then I've got that framework that I can use forever and ever and ever. It just keeps going. Video, email, anything I like. Okay. So right now, I'm working on the summit. I've been working on the summit in November for last probably 3 or 4 weeks, and I've mapped out on my how I use the brown paper rolls and my Sharpie markers. I've used already about 3 meters of brown paper in my roll so far, just simply drawing out concepts and frameworks, breaking up the 2 days into the start, before morning tea, after morning tea, what we do between morning tea and lunch, after lunch, after afternoon tea, and I've done that for the 2 days. And at the moment I'm just mapping out exactly what we're going to do over the course of the 2 days, and just with, like I said, Sharpie marker and a couple of texters. That's all I'm doing. So it's a framework. It takes me 10 minutes, 15 minutes to figure out what to do over the session, and now I'm just inputting the data, and just to make sure I have an awesome session for you guys. Okay. So guys, I want to know from you, what do you think? What do you think how would having a framework for your marketing, your emails, your blogs, if you want to do videos, because I know a lot of you guys want to move to doing some videos, and we're going to talk a lot about that in the upcoming weeks. But I want to know from you, how would having frameworks for this stuff help you? If we could create some frameworks together, what sort of advantage would that give you from a marketing point of view? How could that make it easier? How can it make life easier for you? Please let me know. I'd love for you to share that with me now. Just do me a favour, type into the question box, how would having more frameworks help you? Yeah, absolutely right. It would give me speed. Continuity is another one. It would make things regular, yes. It would gives you structure to flow, exactly right. Teach my VA what the framework is and take that piece off my plate, exactly rightly. Systemize it, yes, so it's regular. It comes back to it's either 3, 6 or 9 boxes, exactly right. The more we use, the better we get it, exactly right. And that's exactly right. It used to take me a long time to get these 10-minute, coaching club sessions together. Now, really, it takes me probably 25 minutes to map out just put some bullet points and a couple of little things I want to say, and I'll just talk to that. So yeah, exactly. Consistency. So your stuff looks good and it's consistent. Absolutely. I wouldn't waste time. Thank you. Takes all the unknowns out of it, says Susan. Exactly right. Won't overthink it. will give me clarity around my messages. Exactly right. So we know the same, and it gives you flow. Not only the consistency thing's really important as well, guys, so that people know, oh, that's so. If you look at my marketing, you'll see it looks the same. And it looks me, it's very me, but it looks, the flow and the look and feel and the sound is very consistent over and over. I reckon the idea, friction equals thinking. Okay, just jot that down, guys. Friction, in capital letters, friction equals thinking. Okay, so we don't want to think, we just want to do. You heard me talk about the work hard once piece. You've heard me talk about it lots and lots of times. Think about it like a train driver. Train drivers. Train drivers don't really have to think that hard. I'm not saying they don't think, but train drivers don't actually have to think that hard. They just need to worry about stop. They need to worry about go. And they just need to worry about the speed. The rest of the time, the train's on the tracks. There's no thinking left. There's no thinking right. There's no, it's just stop, go, toot the horn, right? And that's kind of their job done. Okay. There's not much thinking, Bob, at all. Everything flows. There's no friction with the train track. Make sense? And that's what we want with your marketing. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a little minute. And, we just don't want to go to the time and effort. The more time and effort you put into thinking about this, it's less time for actually doing. And the doing is the valuable time. That genius time, that's the valuable time. So the more time you spend in your excellence, competent and incompetent in your marketing, that's less genius time that you get to spend. And really, that's where you should be positioned. That's exactly right. Maybe can answer this one at the end of the session. Your 52-week marketing dates. I've got a copy of a similar one in the vault. Is there one that's pre-done with financial planning? Mate, you've got the 52-week, you've got the marketing planner. Mate, I haven't actually completed one for you guys, but I've given you, I'm going to show you some tips around that in a minute, Lee. But yeah, I've given you a bit of a head start on it. But I mean, every business is different, so you're going to come up with, and every market's different, everyone's got a different niche, so I can't really do 52 for every single person in the coaching club, but I've got the template for you, and I'm going to show you how to do that really easy. There's going to be something in particular I'll come back to you and show you, Lee, okay? All right, so it's framework first, guys. That's what we're talking about here, framework first. Okay, that's where we're at. It makes just makes life so much simpler when you do that. All right, I think we're getting this. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, the fourth thing I want you to think about here, I want you to get a boss. I want you to get a boss, okay? Now, this might not relate to you. This might be something that that I need, basically, because of my personality or the way that my brain works, right? But I found over the years that I'm a really crappy manager of my own time. In the past, right, before I started doing this, in the past, if I had 2 weeks to do a project, I'll get it done the day before or right on the deadline. I don't know about you guys. Anyone relate to that? Just raise your hands if you kind of relate to that. What do they say? Time expands to fill the available space. I was stuck in that world as well. It's just how I used to be. Shocking, really, at the end of the day. But and you wouldn't think I used to get so much done as what I did. But it used to involve a lot of late nights and some early mornings a lot of the time just to get the work done. And I'm sure you guys have all been there as well. You wouldn't think it now, but yeah, it was. It's the truth. So what I've done there, I've always had people around me to do the stuff for me, and have people to tell me what to do. Okay, that's what I want. I want a boss. I need a boss. I need someone to tell me what to do so it gets done. And also, I've got a deadline. Think about Father Christmas, guys. Just think about this for a minute. Father Christmas was famous for 2 really, really important things. And you might want to jot these 2 down. They're critical, really, really important things. Number 1, he was famous for making a list and checking it twice, right? He's making a list and checking it twice. He was really famous for that. But the second thing he was famous for, in all seriousness, he was famous for having elves, right? Father Christmas had elves all around him to do all the other stuff. Everyone thought it was Father Christmas. Father Christmas is the one that gets the glory, and he's the one on all the Christmas cards, and he's the one on all the TV commercials, and he's a famous one. He's the one that gets to line his sandsuit with sunglasses on the beach with a cocktail, and it's all the elves are doing the work for him. No one really realizes that. Okay? No one really realizes that. So, that's what we want. So at the moment for me, I've got Iggy, who's my project manager, and he takes the stuff off my hands and gets the stuff done for me. And I've got JD, who's like my left arm, and she does all of those things that I'm incompetent at, and even some of the things that I'm competent at as well. But she's a genius at the things that I'm incompetent and competent at. And that's what happens. So 4 days a week, 10 minutes past 10, 4 days a week in our business, we have a catch-up meeting, like I've told you before, and we work on what needs to be done. JD and Iggy tell me exactly what I need to do and what I have to have ready next. So I've got a boss. They tell me what I need to do, and I just do the important bits, and I give them the rest, and they implement it for me. Like for today, JD tells me on Monday, okay, Steve, here's the folder for this Friday's coaching club session. The session's going to be about blah, and you've got to have it ready by obviously Thursday, by yesterday. Okay, so she gave me all the links, so I know where everything is, where I've got to save everything. She set up the GoToWebinar registration for this. She sends out the emails to you guys. She made the posts in Facebook. All I had to do was come up with some content for today, and the rest is done for me. Okay, that's it. JD does everything, and she'll do all the follow-up as well. JD uploads the video, she turns it into an MP3, she gives me some bullet points of what I've talked about over the transcription today so that I can turn it into something a little bit more specific for you guys, and that's all I need to do. She gives me the broad bullet points, and then I just tweak it up a little bit. You know, she tells me, and then she'll also tell me what I've got to do next week. So you need a boss, okay? Yeah. And it's kind of weird me saying this, JD and Iggy are my boss in this reality. The reality is I am the boss, but in this situation, JD and Iggy are my boss. Okay? I want them to have the autonomy to hold me accountable so that, you know, so that I do what I have to do. And so who in your business could be your boss? And if you haven't got anyone, you're going to be it right now. But soon, it might not be a person. You know, so just think about even this. We start to think about, so it doesn't have to be a person, it can be a thing. So I'll just give you an example, guys. So let me show you. Let me show you this for just a second. So I'm going to show you the slide deck for today. Here's my boss. So this is my slide deck for today. I'm just going to scroll to the end. I don't really want you to see what we're coming up with. But down the bottom here, guess what? Just so you can see on the side here, here's my boss. This is my plan for the year. So, and we've been through these. In January, we had January Jumpstart, and we did the $1 Million Message, and then we did February Fast Track. We did the Instant Appointment and the email Masterclass. Remember these guys? And then March, we did Conversion, and we did the Cosmo Quiz. I changed up the other one. So even though I had a boss, I was going to do a session called the Y Stack, and then, you know, something came up, someone asked me a question, so I decided to do another session. In April was Team, and we did the Solidify, and we did the Handover. May was Referrals. So we did the Serve and Strategize and the Position the Deal. I know. So I'd planned how to serve and strategize, but what we ended up doing was we ended up doing how to position the deal and the Fab Five, remember? But I had the Serve and Strategize one. Well, guess what? I'm going to do that another time. This is my boss. Now we're in June. Oh, no, sorry, we just did the LinkedIn Masterclass in June. Now we're in, and we just did July. And I made a couple of changes there. Now we're in August. But guess what? I've got September ready to go. I've got October all worked out. So this is my boss. So JD and Iggy just aren't my boss. It doesn't have to be someone. It could be something. December. I've got December already mapped out. And then I've already got a few things for next year ready to rock and roll. So I've already prepared those things. Does that help see that, guys? So what I'm saying is, so it could be someone or it could be something. And in this situation right here, this presentation slide deck is my boss. Just to give you, I wasn't even going to show you this, but I will. You know how I do, so think about the boss. I don't have to think about what slide I'm going to do for my game plan because see all these are all grayed out except for this one here. This one's not grayed. That's the one I'm going to use today. But I've got that option and that option and that option and that option and that option. All right, so I don't have to think too hard anymore about what slide I'm going to use for a game plan box. Light bulbs. So again, I'm trying to say it doesn't have to be a person, it could be a thing. This is my boss. This is my template. I've made it easy for myself. I don't have to think. What light bulb, when I say get it, I always say every week at the end of the session, I say get it, and I could have that slide or that slide. Today I'm going to use this one, that one, or this one, or that one, or that one. So again, I've got myself a boss. I don't need to think about this anymore. It just flows. It's easy. It's Teflon. I don't have to worry about it ever again, and I've got 15 options here, and then once I've gone through all of those, I'll just go back to the top and start the light bulbs again. See how I've made it easy for myself. Okay. So guys, I just want you to write down, I want you to write down the words, do what you're told. Now, it doesn't have to be a person telling you that, I just want you to do what you're told. Something, a template could tell you what to do, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Okay. All right, cool. I've got two bosses, like I said. Yeah, physical, and then there's a calendar as well. The calendar keeps me accountable. I'll show you that in a minute. All right, last one here, really quickly, and then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this. I'm just noticing the time. I'll speed this up. Guys, number 5, really importantly here, is I want you to work your minimum effective dose. MED, minimum effective dose. Please write that down. Really important. If you haven't read Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek, look, firstly I suggest you do. It's fantastic. And it talks about a lot of this stuff. But what he talks about in there is what's called the minimum effective dose. And it's the absolute minimum input that you can put in to get maximum possible return. And that's, again, why I talk about the 80-20. We want to be involved in the genius, and the rest can be done by someone else. Use the example if you, he says in there, if it takes you 15 minutes to get a suntan and sort of trigger that melanin response on your skin, and then you sunbake for an hour, well then the reality is if you do that, you're overdoing it. Because, so you go out, you sunbake, you get burnt, and then you've got to take a few days off sunbaking to let your skin repair and everything settle down, you peel, and then you get back to that pasty white again. And, you know, so it's not an efficient way to do it. Instead, what you could have done steady 15-minute increments, maximum effective dose, small amounts on a regular basis, and rather than all hell break loose and your skin get burnt, skin peel, and I'm out of action for a week. That sort of thing. You run, and effectively you run out of steam. And that's what happens often in our marketing as well. We get going, we get momentum, we start doing something, but then because we haven't planned ahead or we haven't diarised it or created a framework to make it easy, it all just runs out of steam. And then 4 months later you say, oh gee, I haven't done one of those blogs, or I haven't set a Facebook, or I haven't sent an email out to our client base for 4 or 5 months now. You know, we've all had it, we've all seen it before, right? So you're better off with regular small doses of sun in that situation. While the other guy's taking all that time away to recover from the sun, you end up with a perfect tan and you've got no pain. That's what we want. Make sense? Yeah, the way I relate this is basically there's Po in Kung Fu Panda, and he's got this killer move where he calls it the wushu finger tap, and it's just all he's got to do is got to move his little finger, his little pinky finger, in a certain way, and bam, you know, it's total devastation. Just a tiny little shift of his little pinky finger. And I reckon the hardest thing, the hardest part of that wushu finger tap is the cleaning up afterwards. And that's all I want you to do. I just want you to move your little finger when it comes to the marketing piece. We want elves or someone else to take advantage of the rest of it. Someone else can be the expert at that. The whole idea around this is to just make it flow, remove friction, and get maximum exposure from minimum effort. Okay. So we're just going to quickly recap. Okay, really quickly recap, and then we're going to get into the worksheet, and we're going to show you actually how to do this. So the first part is the lubricate. We want to lubricate. We're going to the second part. We're got to be the talent. I want you to be the talent. So we're going to lubricate to make things flow and make it easy and no friction. Number 2, we want you to be the talent. So you're doing the 20% and letting someone else or something else take control of the 80%. Number 3, we want framework first. So I want you to freestyle in a framework, guys. Can you jot that down as well? I want you to be you inside a framework. So we want to freestyle within a framework, and that's where the importance of the frameworks come in. Number 4, I want you to have a boss. And number 5, I want you to work the minimum effective dose. Okay. I'm just going to slip past that question because I'm conscious of time. There's 4 big areas to this, guys, and we're going to do these in the worksheet in a second. So I'm going to walk you through these 5 things. Number 1 is the platform. So the first big idea here is the platform. It's by platform I mean your hub, the central place where all your authority marketing is going to be stored. You know, we've got to put it somewhere. So there's no point just putting it out there and then it not be there anymore. So we want to have it stored somewhere. It's usually your website, but you know, it's a place where you're going to centralize all your authority marketing each week, each fortnight, each month. Everything's going to go back, and we're going to direct people back to this one central spot because that's where your call to action is going to be. Okay. The whole idea around this education-based marketing piece is we're going to have a hub, a website, one spot where we can get people to click, and it takes them to your hub so they can see all your stuff, opt into your opt-in bribes, give their first name and email address, and then you can get into communications. Number one's the platform. Number two is the message. You know, knowing what to say, when to say it, how to say it. It means having a framework that's for your market so you can follow it each and every time. So, you know, if message is coming up with ideas, you know, it could be a blog, could be a video, like I said, email, text, article, post, anything like that. You know, that's the message part of it. Then we need the media. So actually capturing those ideas, getting hold of them, and turn them into something valuable. So like I gave the example with Steve earlier. Steve answered a question for his client. That's an opportunity for him to capture something important, and then share that with the rest of the community to show his authority. Okay, that's an example of what the media is going to be. Where do you find the stuff? Where do you find the ideas to market, to do authority marketing with? Sort of the delivery side of things. Number four, after that, what you need to do is you've got then production. Okay, it doesn't have to, I've got film on the screen here, but it could be, you know, I write a blog, then what? I've got to get it somewhere. I've got to get it up to LinkedIn. I've got to get it on my Facebook page. I've got to send an email communication to my clients. You know, so that's the production part of what happens after you create the content. Okay, or you know, or who or what comes in behind you to clean up and install that stuff that you've just done. Okay, and then once you've done that, you're ready for step 5, which is the promotion side of things. Okay, so the promotion side. So you know, positioning things on your site. Okay, that's what we want, and that's the hub. We want everything to be in there. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do, I'd love you to grab your worksheet, and we're going to actually work through what I call the Authority Accelerator hacks, and I'm going to slide through them fairly quickly. So please keep up with me. Well, do your best to keep up with me. You can hear the recording anyway, but don't worry. I think we'll be sweet. So the first part of this along the top, I'm just going to get that back up. We'll go blue, I think. So what we want to do along the top there. So like I said before, the first part of this is the platform. So you can fill this in, guys, on your worksheet like you see on the screen there. Oh, hang on. Hold on a second. Let me just. Maybe I should bring my iPad up so you can see it. Juggling here. Okay, platform. All right, so the first thing is platform. All right, so the first issue we've got is, well, like I said, this platform. So we've got there's two things here. The first thing is you've got one of those old-fashioned websites. You know, you built it 3, 5, 10 years ago, and it's just out of date. It's antiquated. You know, it's not pulling for you anymore. You know, it's not doing the job that you want to do. And or the other thing is that you might be embarrassed. A lot of people that I talk, a lot of financial planners that I talk to, they're actually embarrassed to send people to their website. So which is really bad, to be honest. Or secondly, you don't want to spend a fortune on a website. So so you really, at the end of the day, and that's the hardest part, is knowing where to start. If you haven't got a good website or you haven't got one at all, the hardest part's knowing where to start. But the truth is, guys, that really it's the easiest thing to do in the world when you know what you're doing. You know, you could get a custom website built, or but that takes ages and it costs you thousands of dollars as well. That's the other thing. So the easiest way to do it, I reckon, is to get the easiest way to do this is to base. I reckon what you should do is I want you to pick a theme. Okay, so I want you to pick. So really all you need to do, it's so simple, all you need to basically do is go onto something. Well, this is the one we use. We use this Envato Marketing. It's called TrueMag. It's called TrueMag. This is one of the theme platforms that we use, right? And basically you can go in here and there's hundreds and hundreds of different with your marketing, for your platform, for your hub. Okay, that's what we want. We want you to pick a theme. So you can go into Studio Press, you can go into Theme Forest, and you just go in and pick a theme for your marketing. I have a better view of this. Add favorites collection. View portfolio, that's what I wanted. So there's just, you just go in and you pick yourself, there's hundreds and hundreds of different themes and you just click on them. Now look, I said, $50, $60, that sort of thing, and then you just, all you need to theme right now. And basically all you want to do, you want to just, you want to go, make sure it's for good for WordPress, and it's something that looks good, it's got a blog in the middle. If you can't really go wrong. Just another one we do, and I'm going to share this with you guys at the summit when you guys come over. So what I want to show you is this. So we've actually been working on a bit of a template for, have a look at this guys, for a template for website. Logo here, authority image of view here, big benefit headline here, click here to play video, lead magnet front and center, okay, download your da-da-da. Big clients, if you've got big clients you work with, logos and stuff like that. If not, we take it out. Lead magnet, got a workshop or a seminar, more about your business in here, click the links from the blog, that sort of thing. So we've been working frantically behind the scenes, and we're going to be launching this at the summit, and we might be able to help you guys with your platform that you use. Okay, so just to give you an idea. All right, so but anyway, all I need you to know right now is that I want you to pick a theme. You need to pick a theme and run with it. We want something just simple, and then we can get ninjas to fix it up. It needs to be mobile responsive. Just write this down. Good for iPad and mobile phones. It needs to have a sign up option. Normal on the right-hand side with opt-in boxes. It's really, really important. And it's got to have a place to say all your marketing authority, so your blogs and everything's got to have a place for that. Okay. So if you're looking at that, guys, just start with a theme, and then we can tweak it from there. If you want to know more about that, let us know. We are going to be launching it at the summit. We're going to have a special price for people at the summit if they come. But if you want to know more, just let us know. Okay. Number two, the second thing you need to do is that I want you to understand who the hero is in your platform. Okay, so we've got a platform. We need to understand who the hero is in your website, in other words. So if you think about it, look at Apple. Apple, everyone loves Apple, right? But Apple doesn't really talk about itself. It puts something or someone up as the hero. Apple puts something or someone in the spotlight. They put the product and okay. So if you look at Apple's website, it's all about their product, and that's the hero. So we've got to think in your world, what's the hero for you? So if you were to think about your website, what's the product that you could put up in the spotlight? Well, I reckon the product is your advice. Okay, so what you do, just put this in the second box, make your advice the hero. So on your websites, I've looked at a lot of websites, even a lot of you guys on the call right now don't feel that the advice is the hero on your website. I reckon a lot of it's product. I reckon financial planning is the hero in a lot of your websites. I don't think that your advice is the hero right now. I just don't feel that from when I look at it, okay? So I want you to put your advice front and center. That way people will fall in love with you, and they'll fall in love with the need for your advice, okay? If we put it front and center, that's what they want. Just like they fall in love with Apple, they're going to fall in love with you because you're going to put your advice is going to be the hero, okay? So we've got pick a theme, make your advice the hero. The third thing, the next piece of this platform bit is that we need to make sure that you've got what I call, we want instructions and next steps. We need to make sure, I'm going to put in brackets here, they're clear and compelling. We need to make sure that your instructions and your next steps are clear and compelling. What are the next steps going to be? Well, you want them to opt. You probably going to need an opt-in box. Your lead magnet, your bribe. That's what it is. It's really an opt-in bribe. We need a place to capture their first name and their email address. You might have a schedule a call box, or you might have a strategy session with you box. That sort of thing. That's what you need on your platform, on your website here. Okay? You might have an opt-in to your next workshop or your seminar if you're running workshops. So that's what we need. We need somewhere to capture and make sure that instructions are a straight-line system for from your lead magnet, either through emails or Facebook or LinkedIn, to to an opt-in box or an opt-in page with a welcome and thank you for downloading email. This is all part of the sequence that you guys have got access to in the box. With the welcome and thanks for downloading, a follow-up with a hot potato conversation sequence so we can get talking to people, and then we need one for them to really book an appointment with you. And again, you go onto my website, there's a place to book a call with Steve. That's what we need with you. So it's really easy to book a call with me. Just go to the website, here's the link, and you can click on there and schedule with me. Okay? So we need a simple thing that works. We need to put your advice and your authority marketing front and center in your with your blog, and then we need to make sure the next steps are really, really obvious, and they're usually over on the right hand side, in the middle, and also on the right hand side in the sidebar. Okay, that's what we need to look at. All right, let's talk about message. So the next box over here. I'm just going to have a quick glance at the time. Where's the time? Okay, but hurry up. I'm probably going to go about 5-8 minutes over, so it won't be too far off, but please stick around with me. I think you'll get some value out of where we go with this, because next one is message. Okay, so the next part of this is the message. So what's the message? Who do I talk to and what do I say? Who do I talk to and what do I say? So I'm going to hope that maybe you guys have got one target market, maybe two at the side. I'm a big fan of one, right? But it's your call if you want to complicate your life by having two target markets. That's perfectly fine with me. So when it comes to message, and what to say, the most helpful thing that I do for this is and I've done it for years. I do what I call set news traps. I set news traps. Okay, we set news traps in this message piece. What's a news trap? A news trap's a place where I basically just get consistently spoon-fed authority marketing ideas for my staff. Okay, I just get spoon-fed. So maybe there are some industry blogs that you've signed up for that your prospects might also sign up for. It could be a medical journal, tradies press, farming newsletters, retirees or seniors blogs, or anything like that. It could be some of your also industry, the financial planning industry stuff as well. See what other guys are doing, and basically you want to sign up for those things so that you can capture some of the stuff that is going around out there, or that your clients or your prospects are listening to or reading. Okay, so that you know what they're talking about and you can talk about those same things. So I think the other good way, really good way of getting news or setting news traps is to talk to real customers about real problems. So just like I did with Steve a second ago. So it was really good you said that, Steve. Steve helped the client with a problem. That now is a news trap. I'm going to trap that information. I'm now going to put it out on another angle out to the rest of the world so people know that I know about it, I understand it, and I've got a solution for it. It's a real person's problem, so I'm going to help real people with real problems. So, that's the sort of thing. So even when I do my webinars, so guys, some of you guys have been on my, not this sort of webinar, but this is also one as well, but my other sales based on my training webinars, I ask lots of questions along the way, and what happens is GoToWebinar captures all of the, type into the question box and answer me this question, blah, 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 blah. And GoToWebinar actually captures every single question, and then at the end of it, I can get a report, an Excel spreadsheet of every answer to every question that every person on the webinar has answered. So I then go through that and pick out, that's a good thing I could talk about. That's a good thing. I could make a webinar about that. I should put that up as a Facebook post because these are real people with real problems, and I can use those real problems to help with my authority marketing. Does that make sense? So news traps, real life people with real life problems. That's what we want to do. Just the other thing. So I'll just give you a bit of an idea. I'll show you mine. So this is what I've just got to remove that. Here's my swipe file, and this is what I call my swipe file, guys. I've told a lot of you guys about the swipe file. My swipe file is basically, just have a look at it. There you go, my swipe file there. There's all my swipe file. This is just stuff that I've accumulated over time, and it's just here in a folder. 8 steps to retire your way. 4 tips to how doctors can. How making sense of life insurance. So these are just all my little news traps that I've accumulated over time, that if I ever run out of an idea or I want to do a post, I'll just go, hey, I'll just go to have a look at them all. There's hundreds there. I don't know how many there are. And then I've got just like images. I've taken screenshots of things that I could maybe use one day, and I can turn those into authority marketing. And I've got just PDFs. There's hundreds of them. If I ever need anything, I'm never going to run out of ideas for authority marketing, because I've got lots and lots of different news traps there. That's how I do it. So that's what your swipe file's for. You should have a swipe file on your desktop where you just see something that I could use one day and save it in there, so that, you know, if you ever need it, it's there for you. You don't have to think. This is how we get that friction, get rid of that friction, get that flow to your life. Okay. All right. So that's one way to do it. Yeah, like I said, subscribe to newsletters and stuff like that is another way we can do this. All right. The second, number two in this is what we need in here. We've got to get this. To get this piece right, we need basically what I call a content plan. Content plan, and that's where you were talking before, Lee, about the spreadsheet, where we've got everything mapped out inside that content plan. So I'll give you an idea of how I do mine. So I basically, just going to pull this over just to show you. I basically map out for myself. So this is for me right now. This is my content planner. And we might just maybe go into some detail about this next week with you guys so that you can create one for yourself. What I'll say there, so I've got to do for myself, I've got to do for the year, I've got to do 24 of these, what I call these 10-minute tactics, coaching sessions. I've got to do 3 intensives. I've got to do 2 to 3 summits a year. I've got to do 12 sales webinars, 12 Boost Your Business blogs, repurposing video blogs, which we do 12, and then I do these win posts once a week. I do 52 wins posts, and I've just built my model there. So I plan out what I've got to do over the course of the year, and then I just use what I call the content calendar. So January, February, all the way through to December, and I've got this grid. And basically, what I do, I just break up the grid. So just before I show you that, I actually just to give you an idea, for these sessions, how I mapped out. This is my year mapped out. So at the start, probably in November to December last year, I mapped out the 12 months of the year. So model, attract, convert, deliver, refer, scale. There are 6 pillars. And January, February, so I wanted to talk about in January, structure and clients and conversion and teamwork. So I just got this framework. And I just had, okay, in January, I'm going to talk about the structure. And we're going to do Jumpstart January and your magnetic message. In February, it was about, I started with client activate, but I changed it to attract, and we did the instant appointment and the email masterclass. Conversions craft, I did wow with email. I think I changed the name of that. I think I turned that into the email masterclass. And then the Y stack, and I ended up doing something different there. But I just did this at the start of the year, went through, decided what my themes were for the months, and then I know that I need to do 2 webinars on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month, and I just came up with 2 webinar names, just roughly, mapped it out, scribbled them out, I had some other ideas up in the top corner here, wrote some other things down, crossed out a few things, actually changed a few things, but I mapped it out in November, ready for November 15, ready for this. And then, boom, I just went in and went into detail. So I actually captured that content and put it in there, so I know this is my boss. Again, I'm coming back to this is me. This is my boss. Okay, my boss isn't a person in this situation; it's the calendar. So I know exactly what I've got to do. So next week we're doing the Ascendancy Accelerator. Next week we're going to do the content planner, and I'm actually going to walk you through this, and we're going to actually physically create one for you guys next week. So make sure next time we get together. So stick around for that. But you can see I've got the rest of the year already mapped out, ready to go, done and dusted. Don't have to think about it. Flow is good. All right. So hopefully that gives you an idea. Just of time, guys, I'm a little bit over. Just bear with us, guys. If you have to go, you can listen to the recording. Sorry, I've gone a little bit longer, but there's a fair bit in this one. Otherwise, stick around, guys. I reckon I'm going to be about 10-15 minutes. So if you can stick around, please do. Otherwise, that's all perfectly fine as well. I think everyone's still on the call, to be honest. So that's good. Great. Okay. So we've talked about setting news traps. We've talked about having a content plan. And so I'm actually going to slow down a bit now. So if you want to go, you can go. If you've got another 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes, just stick around and we'll have a good time to go. Okay. So just let me get my head back around where I was here. Okay, so then the third piece, really what we want to do is we want to, so we've set news traps to capture ideas and consolidate everything into one spot. We create a content plan to give you rhythm and flow so that you've got, and it becomes your boss. The third thing, we need to do what I call show flow. Show flow, okay? So every video that I ever make, every blog that I ever do, every email, every Facebook post, every editorial, you've all heard them before, you've seen it before, you know, that I have a framework and a template for it. So the first reason is so that I don't think about what I do, I just do it. The second thing, there's consistency. And it looks and sounds like me, and every time someone sees it, they know exactly what they're in for, what it's going to be. So just to give you, I'll give you a bit of an idea. So I both blog frameworks. So I'll just get here. So here's how I do a blog framework. Really simple. I'll just do this, and I'll like that, something like this, and I'll just go, and I'll go bang, and I'll go bang, and I'll just say I'm going to talk about my brand. So I'm going to open my, when I do a video blog, I just open my brand. Hey, Rockstar, Steve Selvey here from blackwing.com.au, and today, and then I'm going to do my promise. And I'll tell them what they're going to get if they stick around. Okay, hey, it's Steve from blackwing.com here, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to create authority marketing and content without even trying too hard. Okay, so I'll do the brand, and then I'll do the promise every single time. You'll hear it every time you hear one of my videos, or even a blog. And then I teach the content, and I'll teach them something valuable. Teach content. What do I say? So, I say, so the first thing I want you to do, so there's 3 things that you need to do, or 5 things that you need to do to focus on your content. You need to have a platform. You need to have a really strong message. You need the media. You need the way to get it out to your marketplace. You need the production value, and then you need your promotion. And then I'll just go into, and I might just pick one of those things and say, okay, let's go deep into the message part of it. And I'll talk about the news track, content plan, and show flow. So I'll just teach them something. And then then what I do every single time, it's the same every time, then I seed my program, okay? So I'll say, I'll seed my program. It's one of the things we're going to be covering at the Blackwing the Profitable Planner Intensive coming up in Perth and Sydney. We're going to go dive deep into that. So I'll just seed whatever program. If I've got a workshop or a seminar, or I'll seed my website, or you can go to my website and download a great checklist or whatever it happens to be. I'll seed every single time. And then at the end, it'll be like, it's like, comment, or share. I'd say the same thing every time. So guys, so that's it for this week's Boost Your Business Show. If you liked it, I'd love you and share it with your friends. Right now, and then what I do there, I also normally ask a question. Right now, I've got a question for you. Yeah, and I'll just come up with a question of something I've talked about there. And then the last one is always the sign off. Sign off. Okay. So I just sign off on that. And so again, just to give you an idea, video blog template. So I just mapped it out like that. I said, hey, I'm going to be doing blogs and video blogs and editorial blogs regularly. I need a framework. So guess what? We just built one. So here's the video framework, branding and name. So I'll just go in and write 3 or 4 bullet points in here, and then I give them the promise or the hook, and then I seed my product or the offer. And then I teach them something, 1 or 2 or 3 things in here, just 3 bullet points. And what I do, I should just keep the video rolling. So I'll do the branding piece, and then I'll just pause for a minute, and I'll stare at the camera for just like 1 second or so. And then what I do, I have the piece of paper on the floor, and I just go down and look at my piece of paper and say, what was I going to talk about again? And I just get my head around that, and then I just look back at the camera, stare at the camera for a second so that my editors can just marry them up, and then I'll just say, okay, what I want to talk to you today about is blah, 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 blah. Talk about that. Then I'll just keep the camera rolling, and I'll look down at the paper, go to the next box, get my head around what I'm going to say, look back at the camera, and blurt out the seed part, and then the teach part, and all the way through. Okay, that's how we do it. I've got 2 different styles. One with a big idea, interrupt, intro, content, seed offer, share, and interact. Okay, so all I want you to know right now is that there's always a framework to work around with this. Okay, so I'm just going to close that, baby. And bring this back over here. And go back in here. So we're in there. So that's what I call show flow. So our flow, it's. Oh, sorry guys, it won't let me close for some reason. I'll quit that. Okay, yeah. So our show flow. So there's a framework every single time. Okay, media. Quickly on media. And I'll make this better later. Okay, so the next thing, so we need to talk about media. Yeah, so we want to talk about media. So media is really, the thing here with media is we need to, I want you to play to your strengths. I want you to play to your strengths. So again, if you're the type of person, I want you to come from your genius, in other words. So if you're the type of person who hates facing a camera, if you don't like holding the iPhone in front of you, you don't like being in front of a camera or anything like that, well then, for goodness sake, don't do that. If you're terrified in front of a camera, don't do camera. Just don't put yourself under that pressure. Just write, or just. You know, if you're the type of person that hates staring at a blank piece of paper and doesn't know where to start, I need to write a blog or an email, but I don't know where to start. Well, don't do that. Get your voice recorder on your phone and just record into the phone, and then get someone to transcribe it for you. You can go onto rev.com and they will transcribe your words or your typing, your text, for $1 a minute. You know, you do a 3-minute video, it's going to cost you $3 to get an entire blog thing transcribed. If you just say it into a phone recorder, and they do it for $3. Simple as that. However things flow out of you best, you know, I want you to master that. Be the best at that, and that'll make it easy for you. And you can outsource the other stuff to someone else. That's the first thing. Second thing is, really quickly, I'm just going to fly through this one. Gear ready. Just have everything ready for yourself. You know, so the amount of times I've gone to do a video where the battery's been flat, or you know or I've put my banner down and I've got to get it back out. It becomes it just becomes an operation, major operation. You know, I lose momentum, and so now what have I done? I've got 2 batteries. I've always got one charged up. Now what I do, I leave my banners and my lights and my camera and the tripod. Everything's up. It's ready to go. So I just have to walk into the room, set the camera. I don't leave the camera on the tripod. I just have to walk into the room, set the camera up, press play, go out and walk out in front of the camera, do my thing, and then I just walk out. It's all done. It's all set up for me. So that's what I mean, have your gear ready. Even like right now, I'm looking at my desk here. I've got one of those phone selfie clippy things that clip onto the end of my screen here, one of my screens on my desk. And so if I think of an idea and I'll video on my iPhone, I can just put it into the little clip. It's just there, ready to go, rock and roll. I just put my video in, press play, press record, and I can just do a quick video there and then without having to go away and set it all up and start thinking about it and getting it to that one. So just have your gear ready is the next thing. Third thing, really quickly, is what I call here support structure. Have a support structure. And that could be a person, or it could be a calendar. Right? It could be, like I said before, it could be a personal calendar or a schedule. You know, so make that your boss. Like I said before, I'm not going to go too much into that. So I've got lots of different formats. So the schedule becomes the boss. That's what I want. That's what I want to showcase. And I don't have to work too hard. I just work to the schedule. Okay. Someone does the setup. I do the makeup. Someone does the cleanup. And then I just don't need to worry about it anymore after that. Okay. Next piece here is we've got to think about the production. I'll just do these really quickly as well. Production. This has gone a little bit over time. Sorry guys, I really apologise for that. I've overestimated my thing here, but I had to set the scene right. In reality, if I had to if I had to write in my answer for this, I would say my ninjas. They do the production on all of these things, but I can't do that, so I'll try and write something intellectual. But I would just say embrace the talent model, like I talked about before. Embrace the talent model. You do the talent piece and let your ninjas or your elves do the rest. Okay, you be the brain and the mouth, and let someone else with the genius, in the technology and the follow-up and the clean-up, be the genius of that. Okay, that's the beauty of that. The second thing here is what I call core versus mechanics. So all that means is I just want you to figure out what are the core things and what are the mechanics. Okay, what's the core? What's the really, really important bits? Mechanics. Okay, so every process, there's multiple steps. Every single process within your business has lots of different steps. So you think about it, let's say if you're going to create a video, here's the thing. If I walk through the steps, I've got to come up with an idea. We've got to set up the camera. We've got to record it. We've got to edit it. That's 4. We've got to pack the stuff away if you do that. We know I don't now, but you normally got to pack the stuff away. You've got to get it transcribed. You've got to upload it to your website and to your LinkedIn and Facebook and the like. You've got to normally create an MP3 version of it. You've got to create tracking links, 9 things done so far. You've got to promote and distribute it. You've got to get it out there. We've got to check stats, make sure that it's actually working and the stuff's being watched. So if you think about that, idea, set up camera, record it, edit it, pack stuff away, transcribe it, add it up to the website, make an MP3, create the tracking links, promote and distribute it, and check the stats. Really, if you think about it, what's the core, and out of those things, what are the core and what are the mechanics? Well, really, I reckon the core part of it really is coming up with the idea. It's the recording it of that video, so that's the core part. And maybe at a pinch, checking the stats at the end just to make sure that it's actually working for you. Now, you don't have to do that, but I kind of keep a bit of an eye on that. The rest is simply mechanics. Setting up the camera, editing the video, packing the stuff away, transcribing, uploading it, creating the links and all that. That's all the mechanics. So all I try and get involved in is the idea and the recording of the video, and then someone else does the mechanics. So I'm out of those 11 things, I'm doing 2 and 3 at a pinch. The rest are done by someone else. And that is JD and Iggy, who are experts in that area. They're way, way better at it than I'll ever be. Okay? So that's what I mean by core versus mechanics. All right. You want someone else to be an expert at that so that you don't have to be. All right, let's, so what was that? That was, and the last part here, sorry guys, the last part here, again, it's templates. So what you do, even for the mechanics part of it, you want to create templates so it's easy for your team to be able to do that as well. And you can tell them exactly how you need it done, and they can do it, replicate it over and over again so that it's done the way you want it done. All right, so then the last one here, we're going to talk about promotion, and then we're going to finish this off. Promotion. So those 5 hacks we talked about today. And so reality is promotion. Where do I save this stuff? I say I've saved it. How do I get it out there now? The how-to of getting it out there is really what. And really, there's 3 mental models that I sort of come up with here. Number 1 is I call it house it in a hub. House it in a hub. Okay. And a lot of people make the mistake of they do a Facebook post, or they make a LinkedIn Pulse article, or they do a video and they save the video up in YouTube, let's say, or they only save the Pulse article in Pulse. Well, the reality is that's fine, but we don't really want people going to LinkedIn or going to YouTube to look for you, right? We want to bring them back to your hub or to your website. We want to get them back over to your website. So what we want to do, even though we're going to promote things out through those mediums, we're going to actually house everything inside your hub. Okay, we want to make all your content or your authority marketing smack bang right in the center of your website, so that people go there and then they can look at your downloads and your links and your opt-in boxes. That's what we want. So we can house it in the hub. Number 1. Number 2, we're going to I call it send it in spokes. And that's kind of what I was talking about just there. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you copy or paste a video, or you want to make it, get it out to all of those places, but have a link every single time. They don't watch it on LinkedIn. They don't watch it on your Facebook page. They hit a link and they go back to your website. So that's what we want. You want to have an image and you want to have an image with a link, and they click on that image and that takes them back to the hub. So we want to have the hub, but we want to send it out in all of those spokes that we talked about before. And the third part of this, and the last one, really simple, is what I said before. It's monitor. Monitor your results. Okay, we've got to monitor the results. Okay, so we want to basically make sure that the stuff's working and that you're not wasting your time. Okay. All right, guys. So basically, really, that's where we're at. We've got to make sure it's working at the end of the day. So got to make sure the problem is it's hard to do this, but we've got to nurture our clients and our prospects, but it's really, really hard if you don't have a plan to do it. So for some reason that's not moving. So guys, just why are you not coming away? Not sure why you're not coming away, so I'll just do this. It's the last thing I need when I'm out of time. Okay, all right. So guys, so basically that's pretty much what we're talking about here. So hopefully that was value. I know I've gone over time. I'm really, really sorry about that. But guys, I think hopefully you get that, and that makes sense for you guys as well. And really, at the end of the day, if you do this and you do it right, when I first started this marketing piece, guys, I'm telling you, it wasn't like this at all. It wasn't as easy as it is for me now. And I was probably feeling a little bit like you guys were now, a little bit overwhelmed. Where do I start? How do I come up with this valuable content? How am I going to make it consistent, regular, hands-off? How am I going to get it all done? Seriously, it did. It stressed me out. It stressed me out no end. But the issue is I want to be seen as an authority. So you need to get out there so that they come in here. Okay, you need to get out there so that they come in here. And if you do it and do it right, it'll give you the ability to attract the right clients, the right people into your business, do it consistently, and if you use these hacks that we've talked about, it's going to be much, much easier for you. And especially if you do that in conjunction with what we're going to do next week. So I've given you the overview today, and next week we're actually going to map out a content plan for you for the next 12 months. How would that sound? Okay, guys? So here's the thing. Pardon me, guys. Game plan. Really, really simple game plan. So all I want you to do, I want you to have 3 action steps. So for you to create that flow and that leverage and accelerate some of this stuff, I want you to think about, go through your notes, go through our worksheets. I know I've gone over time today. So, but hopefully you've got some value out of this. So, and again, it's still on the course, so that's good. But I want you to go in the takeaways are good. So I'd love you to just write down your 2 or 3 quick things that you learnt on your worksheet there. But action steps. I want you to basically take 3 steps. What are 3 things that you can do to take the ideas from today forward powerfully? I'd love to know. What are you going to do? What can you do to take it forward powerfully? So I want you to write down 3 action steps. What's the first thing you can do? What's the second thing you can do? What's the third idea you took out of today? And I want you to just get those down for now. And then over on the left-hand side, I want you to give the project a name, and these are the things that you can put up in your Make It Happen Monday. Okay, that's what we want to do. We want to capture some ideas and where to. And then I'm going to put a post up very shortly. It's going to look something like this. And I'm going to get you to share that with me in there, so I've got a gauge of where we're at. Okay, guys. Humble apologies, gone a little bit over, but that's cool. It's all good. We'll just continue to rock and roll from there. Guys, been fun today. Got a lot out of this. Don't think I've ever spoken so fast in my life, so I just have to recap and revisit why there was a little bit longer in there today. Guys, jump in there. Be involved in the Facebook group with me, as you always are. Comment on the LinkedIn page. Guys, next week we're going to take what we did today and take it further, and at the end of it you're going to have your very own content plan for a 12 months of authority marketing. I'm going to show you what I've done. I'm going to give you all the tools, and we're actually going to do some doing next week as well. So not so much learning. It's going to be more around doing, and you're going to walk away with a 12-month action plan. That's what you've got to look forward to next week. So guys, thanks very much for your patience. Thanks for sticking around. For pretty much all of you who are still on the line, which is pretty cool. And take care, and I'll talk to you guys all really, really soon. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Bye for now.